Hello guys, happy December. So we are here for the last office hours of 2016, and today we have kind of an exciting subject to talk about. Thank you for that. It's exciting. So today we are going to focus on the U.S. Green Ribbon School application. And if you've been a part of our program for a while, you've probably heard of this before. It's a nationwide award through the U.S. Department of Education that really exists to honor schools who are doing awesome environmental work. So if you're already a Washington Green School, it's a no-brainer that you should be applying to this. And it's a really cool way to get, national recognition for the work you've done. We've had several Washington Green Schools in the past who have both applied and been recognized as a Green Ribbon School. So yeah, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, and it's a fairly lengthy application, but for those who do fill it out, the return rate is pretty high. Many do get recognized. So this isn't like a shot in the dark. You have a very good chance of being recognized if you do fill out this application.
Yeah, and I also would highlight, and we're going to talk about it in this conversation, but that if you have certified as a Washington Green School, a lot of the questions in our report card process, you're going to see that you can use some of that language in this application. So you can kind of do a little bit of cut and paste.
Yeah. So we're all about the statewide recognition here at Washington Green Schools, but national recognition would be pretty nice as well. So we want to make sure you guys get there.
And we've had some schools, we had Image Elementary and Hillcrest Elementary, I know, who actually went to Washington, D.C. to get recognized for their work. So, you could end up being recognized in our nation's capital. So should we dive in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So before we even get started, you might be thinking, well, do I qualify? So public and private schools, K through 12, can apply for this award. So if you are a kindergarten teacher, if you're a high school teacher, it doesn't matter, public, private, they accept applications from all those schools. And in Washington State, the deadline is different for every state. In Washington State, the deadline is January 9th of 2012. So it's the Monday after you come back from the holidays. So just keep that in mind. January 9th, 2017.
Yeah. And we touched on this, how are the Green Ribbon Schools recognized, but state finalists and national award recipients are invited to attend lots of statewide events. And then the finalists will also receive a opportunity to go to the Capitol to get honored in D.C. And sometimes there can even be some funding to help subsidize that trip and lodging costs.
Awesome.
And where do you complete the online application? Online. And we will have the link on our website. We're going to put an event on our events page for the Green Ribbon School so you can have that easily at a glance to know where to go to fill that out.
Also available on the OSPA website. So
yep.
Yeah, you can find it. You just do a quick Google search or go to our website.
Exactly.
So the recipients of this award excel in 3 different categories. So the Green Ribbons Award is focusing on what they call 3 different pillars. So we're going to break those down for you so that you feel prepared for this application. So I will read through the pillars and then maybe we can dive deeper into each one. So Pillar 1, reduce environmental impacts and costs. So if that's something your school is already doing, way to go. You've already completed Pillar 1. Pillar 2 is to improve the health and wellness of schools, students, and staff. So if you're doing a project that actually helps the public health of your school, you're already doing work that goes towards Pillar 2. And Pillar 3 is providing effective environmental and sustainability education, incorporating STEM, civic skills, and green career pathways. So those are the 3 areas that Green Ribbon Schools is focusing on. We're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive in each one of those.
Yeah. So the first thing that you're going to do is this, it's called a summary statement on your school's efforts in all of those 3 pillars, and it's around 800 words. They generally recommend that you go through all of the other questions and fill out that summary at the end, because you'll find that I think you can pick and choose a lot of pieces from the rest of the application.
Kind of like an executive summary, right after everything else has been completed.
And if you're awarded a green, as a Green Ribbon School, they're going to use that summary in their language when they're doing outreach and communications about what you've worked on. So make sure that it's, defines exactly what you guys have done and what you want the rest of the world to know. So you're going to focus in that summary on partnerships or memberships the school has developed to meet your green goals. So that actually could connect directly with Washington Green Schools, and they say that on their application. So if you've been certified or if you're in the process of certifying, make sure you mention that. The people, including any student team involved in your green school efforts. Again, if you've certified or are certifying as a Washington Green School, you've already got a green team. So you can use that description right from our report card where we ask you to describe your green team to integrate that. Your progress thus far, including results and benefits. Again, our report card, you can, in the Make a Lasting Change section, use a lot of that language in there. And then also your plan to sustain your work. So I think from this you can also see that they're not necessarily looking for projects that are, complete and done. It can be something that's in progress, and they just kind of want to know where you're at with it.
And of course, if you have any questions about the results or how you're progressing through your project, you can contact us, and you can get in touch with your resource conservation managers, or potentially even your utility companies to quantify the changes you're making if you do in fact have a project that results in those types of quantitative changes.
Yep. So then next up, you're going to have basic information about your school. That's kind of name of the school, address, % free and reduced lunch, student population, and you can find those numbers on OSPI. They have a report card for each school, so you can get your updated stats there. Number 3 are the awards and programs, and that's where Washington Green Schools comes in. If you have been recognized by our program, you can put all of your certification information there. And then do you want to chat about the pillars?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the first pillar, pillar 1, just to review, it's reducing environmental impact. So if you're going to take on a project, let's say in energy conservation or water quality, these are what would fulfill pillar 1. Waste management is a really popular topic as well at Washington Green Schools and throughout the state. So if you're doing a project to reduce your waste, or you have a lunch monitoring program or a composting program, that's something that you'd want to write about. And there's also a category called transportation that we offer here, so that's something that you could also talk about that impacts the environment in a more beneficial way if you take on a project like that.
And just to chime in, some of those questions from Pillar 1, they have questions about energy conservation, water quality, waste management, transportation. Some of them are just going to be like checklists where you take off if you're doing, an anti-idling program or a Watt Watchers program or something like that, and others are going to be long form answers where you can, delve in a little bit more deeply about what you've been working on.
So the second pillar is improving health and wellness of the school community. So this kind of ties into the healthy school buildings category that we offer. So these would be programs and practices that address things like green cleaning products, reducing asthma. So again, that anti-idling campaign can easily tie into a clean air and asthma-free zone for your school. Also, any programs that focus on nutrition or fitness or just spending time outdoors. So they see that both as an environmental and as a public health issue. So if you're doing projects like that, that would help support Pillar 2 in the work that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there's also school health, mental health, and safety.
Yep.
So it's a little bit different than what we do, but if you're doing any projects related to that as well, of course, you want to write about in this topic, in this category. And then finally, Pillar 3, environmental education that incorporates STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math, civic skills, and green careers. So if you have a program that focuses on potentially even your older students, maybe younger students, on how they can take the skills they're learning and address it in their adult life, that would be something that you can highlight here. So integrating and measuring environmental and sustainability literacy is one of those civic skills as well, being able to read and comprehend, to communicate your ideas, to problem solve. Professional development for teachers as well can also fall in this category. So if you've attended a teacher training with us here at Washington Green Schools, or if you've done any type of professional development that's focused on the environment, this would be a great time to highlight that work. STEM content knowledge. So we have a couple of curricula that we're developing here that's focused on STEM and NGSS. If you have something like that in your school already, that highlights those 4 different categories, science, technology, engineering, and math, this would be a time to speak about that in your application. And lastly, students engaging in sustainability in their community. So that's exactly what our program is about, taking on action projects in the school, making sure that the students are driving it, not just like a PTA or an administrator, but rather the students are involved in making those changes in their school to make it a greener and healthier place.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what Pillar 3 is all about.
Yeah. And that's the application.
Yeah.
So then once you fill out it's an online form. Once you fill everything out, you click submit, much like our online report card system. And then they don't have a specific date yet that they're going to get back to awardees, but they usually have a very quick turnover. And again, if you have any questions, I know you can reach out to the Green Ribbon Schools contact.
Yeah, so the Green Ribbon Schools program coordinator is Sultana Shah, and her information will be in the bottom of this video, but you can reach her at sultana.shah at k12.wa.us, SULTANA and SHAH. So sultana.shah at k12.wa.us.
And we'll also have that on our little informational webpage so that you can have all of that info at a glance. And that's it. If you have any questions, reach out to either one of us or Olivia, even though she doesn't seem excited. And we will help steer you in the right direction. It's a great way to recognize you schools who have been doing amazing environmental work.
Olivia sends you positive and calming vibes so that you can complete this application in time for January 9th. So,
and it looks intimidating at first, but you can get through it and you'll find that you've already written a lot of this stuff down already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, happy holidays from
Happy
us.
holidays.
And we'll see you on the flip side of January. Bye.